For this week's recap, I was assigned the question, how did the two different projectile motion labs we completed illustrate the key concepts of projectile motion? I found that through the first lab where we dropped the ball on the ramp and it went up and then went down, and we measured the height of the table and the time it took for the ball to get to the ground and where the ball hit the ground, I found that we were looking for the amount of time it took for the ball to leave the height of the table and get to the ground and how far it would go given the velocity that we calculated. I thought this was testing the vertical motion of projectile motion, because projectile motion is when an object is the only force is gravity. So looking at the angle and the velocity having an effect on the vertical acceleration. And the second lab, when we used the marshmallow shooter, and we calculated the time it took for the marshmallow to leave the gun with a lot of force and go to what distance, and this measured the horizontal motion, which gave it a constant velocity. But both really gave the idea that despite the different variables, objects will always be pulled to the floor by gravity, which is the only force of motion in the downward pull of gravity. And it also showed that given this diagram, no matter the upward velocity and the angle, it will be pulled down to the ground, and that that gravity will always act upon an object despite the different variables involved.